Hello, welcome to Meraki MV Sense camera session. In today's session, we are going to discuss approach to solve problem of long queue at ticketing windows. Before we start, I would like to congratulate you for your decision to join Smart India Hackathon. This is a unique opportunity where government ministries, industrial professionals, and students are volunteering together to solve the real problems. This is like a Triveni Sangam where three forces are joining together to make India smarter. A brief introduction about me. I am Nilesh Pateria. I am technical leader at Cisco's developer platform. My expertise is in cloud native platform and microservices. I've been working with Cisco since 2012. Before that, I've been working in India, Pune, with Persistent Systems and Veritas for around a decade. I hold a master's degree from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. So in today's session, we are going to look more into long queue problem statement. Then we are going to look at how to solve it using Cisco's Meraki security camera. As a developer, we will dig deep into dashboard and API capabilities of those cameras. And finally, we will also look at some of the sample applications that we have created so that may help you bootstrap your project using these technologies. So looking at problem statement, I think most of us are very well aware of like long queues at many places like railway stations, RD offices, passport offices, banks, and many other places. These long queues typically lead to like bad service experience. So main idea is security camera are installed at these places, most of these public places. What if these security cameras can be extended to auto detect people and count the people which are seen by that camera? And not only count the people seen by camera, but you can even define a zone within that area so that, for example, on window 3, how many people are present. And then this data can be captured real time as well as historically. And this historical data is of really great use because it allows you to do foot traffic analysis. Once this data, historical data is available to the managers of these premises, they can use this data to identify if there is some specific time of the day when the traffic is much higher or the queues are really long. And they can allocate like additional resources or open up new windows only for those couple of hours. Also, they can advertise and promote uh, the time zones where uh, it's less crowded so that people can come maybe during afternoon where people where queue size is much smaller. So this is one of the use case for people detection using security camera, but there are multiple use cases that we can solve and think about in terms of like government ministries and organization. One of the challenges for education ministry is to identify number of students attending schools. So security cameras are typically installed on school premises, but these cameras, if they can be utilized also for maintaining attendance for school, either at broader school premises or in specific classrooms, that would make it like automatic attendance management system. Secondly, like at many offices where or public service offices, sometime like staff has to leave for some reason or other, and that affect like overall service experience for the visitors. So if these camera can detect if a staff is out of their desk for a specific amount of time, then manager can be informed so that manager can make an alternative arrangement for that. Lastly, like suppose if you have a premises which is supposed to be closed from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., And if we detect a person activity, then security persons can be informed about an unauthorized activity, and they can look at the live feed and take action required. And these government also organizes a lot of events, and on those venues, if we can count entrance and exit count for the people, that would help us to better manage those events. So we have looked at, now we know that we have these people detection using security camera can help in a lot of scenarios. Now let's look at some of the technology available to help you do this. If you are not aware of Meraki brand of security, Cisco Meraki is the leader in cloud control Wi-Fi routing and security. One of the key features, which a lot of people also call Meraki Magic, is centralized cloud management for these devices. What it enables is like you can configure, manage, and update these devices from central location cloud. And there is no need to have expert in every on-premise where these devices are installed, which reduces like expertise requirement across a lot of places. And these devices also include very high grade solid state storage as well as powerful onboard processor. And this is a unique this supports unique architecture where videos are stored in camera and they are optionally archived in the cloud. So looking further into this architecture, if you look at those cameras installed on these premises captures video streams, and the onboard processor analyzes the video stream and stores the stream locally on solid state devices. And this for the local security person, they can view these video stream directly from the camera without going over internet. But if you are watching this remotely from the central security system, then it goes to Meraki Cloud, and from there you can even do remote viewing. One of the advantages this approach gives is even if network is down, your security stream is still recorded on camera, and transfer of the video stream is optimized over network. So Meraki MV series camera is not just about like monitoring and security stream, video stream, but it's also about additional feature that we can enable using the same security camera. One of the key feature it does is like object detection or person detection. So based on the powerful processor that is installed on each of these camera, uh, these camera can analyze the live stream and can detect number of people or objects as seen by a video stream. And based on that, it can do the people counting in camera itself and also generate kind of heat map of traffic pattern that is seen by a specific camera. And since we are more interested in analytics of people and not like actual person for the security reasons, so people are identified by IDs, not by their real names. So if you look from our development application point of view, uh, Meraki MV Sense cameras are capturing those video frames and they are analyzing using onboard processor. At the end, two key metrics that they capture is count of people and number of entrances. And those key metrics are exposed using multiple ways, either REST APIs and MQTT based message queue. So REST API, you can get the current snapshot view, number of people present or seen by that camera. Or you can see historical view, how many people were present yesterday at this point from say 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And if you want to implement an alerting solution, you would want to subscribe to real-time feed using MQTT protocol. So you subscribe to a feed from a specific camera, and if you see a unexpected number of count, then you can raise an alert. So these are like high level features, but as a developer, we want to dig deep into next level and understand what are the capabilities supported by dashboard and REST APIs. So let's look into it. So Meraki camera or other devices have a web-based dashboard. Uh, I have created a snapshot for these dashboards. So this is snapshot for the Cisco merchandise store where we have installed Meraki MV cameras. So in this we can see for most useful feature for security personnel is a video wall where you can see live feed from all the cameras, as well as you have a timeline. You can slide the time window and see live feed for a specific time range. Uh, in addition to it, using the dashboard, you can see how the people detection is working, and you can again slide the window and see how many people were detected by camera. And since this uses machine learning, the uh, detection process keeps on improving over a period of time. And finally, like the two key metrics that is captured by these cameras, the people count and total entrances, are stored in Meraki Cloud. And the basic dashboard allows you to see a number of people who are present at a specific hour, or number of people who entered or exited that particular premises during that hour. And you can also see a basic heat map of what are the areas where people are most visiting this particular store. And since most of these cameras have like wide angle, you may be interested in only monitoring a specific area. So Meraki MV camera also allows you to define zones so that you can monitor people count and entrances in a specific zone. For example, for this particular camera, we have defined three zones. First zone is for to see uh, area where people can buy jackets and shirts. Second zone is POS system where employee would be billing the customers. And third is like queue, which is for that particular billing counter. Since I took this snapshot during off hours, so you don't see any person in these zones. So that was dashboard, which is if you have a very basic use case, then that is most of the time that may be good enough. But if you are developing a custom application like that we discussed, you want to get the access to information using APIs so that you can do your own data analytics and build your own custom applications. So for that, Meraki camera exposes analytics APIs. So it's a very simple API and few APIs that we can look at. So first API allows you to give overall overview of camera, which is like if you have defined 5 zones in a camera, so it can tell you number of people seen by camera and each zone in a single view. Then you can also list number of zones defined in this particular camera. Then you can get the historical data or most recent data for a specific zone. So let's go and look at individual APIs. So in this case, what we are looking at is the Postman, which is a REST API client. Uh, I, I captured the snapshot for APIs for saving some time. In this first thing, we are trying to analyze the overall view that is seen by this specific camera. So in this, there are 2 zones defined, and so zone 0 is always like full camera, and these are the 2 zones defined, and we can see entrances and average count for these cameras, and what is the start time and end time for this particular record. Typically, it's a 1 minute record that you will see. Second is like for a specific zone, you can also you can find the information, but for that you need to find out how many zones are defined in this camera. So in this case, we can see there are 3 zones that are defined for this particular camera. And then for a specific zone, so here you are providing camera serial ID and zone ID. And for that specific zone, you can see the historical information. So, so for every 1 minute period of time, you can see how many people were present and how many people entered in this particular zone. And you can see the historical data based on timestamp, and and you can capture number of records that you want to get in each API call. And finally, you can also get for a specific zone, what are the current values. So for example, this point in time, how many people are present in this particular zone. So these are few sets of API that helps you enable writing your custom applications. As you have seen, these are very basic APIs, but very powerful, since um, most of the heavyweight work is already done by the processor and the camera. So for you, the 2 fields that is of interest is average count of people present and average number of people who entered that particular zone or camera. So those are like basic APIs which can help you in building the solution, but uh, we have also built a couple of simple apps that might help you bootstrap your project. Uh, so first application is Meraki Beat based data pipeline. So Meraki Beat is a plugin framework developed by Elastic Company. This is an open source framework where you can build your own custom plugin for input or output. In this case, we build a custom plugin for Meraki. We call it Meraki Beat. This plugin polls Meraki APIs. In this case, our interest is in camera APIs. So it polls the camera APIs using Beat's interface, and then that information is stored in Elasticsearch for longer term data analytics. So you can configure like a number of cameras and zones that is of interest, and it will keep polling uh, those API endpoint, and they start storing information in Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch is a data store typically used for data analysis and storing like time series data and other data, which large data. And on top of it, like this project uses like Kibana, which is another open source project for visualization, and you can create a dashboard to visualize your data. So this is a custom dashboard or sample dashboard that we created using this pipeline for Cisco Store. You can see for period of time, you can see overall traffic pattern, how many people visited, how many people, kind of like average number of people out there, and on cash registers, what are the average queue size and what is the number of people entering and exiting in that cash registers. We defined multiple zones within the Cisco store, and what are the traffic pattern, number of people entering, exiting those zones. So this gives you like overall idea of how you can utilize zoning and this counting feature for your custom application. Another simple application that we have built is based on MQTT message queue. This is notification and alerting system. So, so this application watches MQTT broker for set of cameras, and this application get activated during off hours. For example, in Cisco store from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. we do not expect any human activity out there. So if we detect a human activity, or if camera detects a person for a threshold period of time, within that time duration we raise an alert to our Cisco security system. So It's a very small Python script. You can look at it. It's on GitHub. Uh, but it's a very powerful use case that can be supported in few lines of code. So these are additional resources. We have our own site which have more details about SIH, how Cisco is supporting SIH, what are the problem statement that we have given for SIH, and these are other resources where we can find more detail about Cisco Meraki MV camera, APIs, and some other applications. So I hope this session is helpful to you, and you will try and create a solution around these problems and submit these in SIH. Looking forward to your submission, and all the best for your SIH submission. Thank you.